The girl saw a person under the tree, but Mom saw nothing. She told her daughter that if she saw again, she must not talk to that person. The woman found it odd too. Since they moved into the old house, the daughter always said she could see things the woman couldn't. Recently, Valerie took her 5-year-old daughter Minnie back to their hometown. The mother and daughter planned to stay there for a while. She told her daughter that was where she lived as a child. It seemed that there was no problem, but from the scars on her face, she wanted to flee the sad city. But the city was miles from home. So Valerie decided to leave that night. As they passed by a gas station, she told her daughter to hide quickly and not get noticed. After fueling, Valerie went to shop. But her daughter didn't come out. She lifted the blanket and found her daughter was gone. Just as she anxiously called for her, Minnie suddenly popped out from the passenger seat. This startled her. Luckily, nothing bad happened. Then they set off again. Meanwhile, the phone kept ringing. She decided to toss the phone. But in the journey that followed, Valerie felt a wave of drowsiness. The car began to sway side to side. Suddenly, a truck appeared ahead. She jerked the wheel to steady the car. Luckily, it was just a close scare. Valerie chose to wait by the road first, but she slept through to morning. It was the police who woke her up. The cop warned her it's unsafe to park here. Then, Valerie resumed her drive. She reached the old house before dark. He brought his daughter to the old house. It was empty and devoid of light. Then he took his daughter to the upstairs bedroom. She told her daughter this would be her room from now on. At her daughter's age, she used to sleep alone in this room. Markings on the wall show her height then. She took her girl to check her height. She matched her childhood height, and they started to unpack their luggage. But Valerie glanced at her handbag. There was a gun inside. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Before the door, she told her girl no curtain play. A one-eyed man stood outside the door. It's the uncle Valerie contacted first. He lives nearby and cares for the old house. The uncle brought her some groceries and a phone. Before leaving, he told Valerie to call him if she needed any supplies, because it's been raining for the past few days. You might experience power fluctuations or outages. He placed a flashlight in the kitchen. The generator is in a nearby shed. But it's been 30 years now. I wonder if it still works. Uncle glanced at the window, surprised. Valerie turned to see her daughter's room. Then Uncle hurriedly laughed. She went back to scold her daughter. I told you not to play with the curtains, so why are you? But her daughter innocently claimed she hadn't touched them. Valerie scolded her daughter for lying. You're the only one in this room. If it wasn't you, then who else? The daughter looked at the curtains, confused. She put her suitcase into another room. She pulled a gun from her bag, and she put it in a cupboard. Opening the suitcase revealed 2 bags of cash. She took out her clothes and put cash in the case. Then she shoved the case under the bed. She stood by a broken mirror, gazing at herself. Another image flashed in her mind. Suddenly, hands landed on her shoulders. At night, her kid wanted to see cartoons. But this was an old-fashioned TV. After a long search, not one channel showed. After Valerie turned off the TV, the screen showed another figure. Her daughter quickly turned to look, but there was nothing behind her. Valerie was sent to go close the window upstairs, but the daughter, scared, wanted to go with her. She wanted her daughter to stay put, watching her mother's figure leave. The daughter felt a bit lost, but she saw the window at the end of the hall moving. So she walked over and closed the window. The room grew quiet too, but the nearby room grabbed her attention. She stood dazed, unsure of what she was staring at. Valerie's voice woke her daughter. Curious, the daughter asked what this room was for. But Valerie didn't know. Her grandmother never allowed her in this room. She guessed it might be a storage room. During dinner, she asked her daughter if she liked this old house. The daughter casually said she didn't like it, because the old house was a bit run down. After all, it's over 100 years old. Valerie planned to renovate it, convert it into a coffee shop or inn. As they spoke, the lights in the room began to flicker. Valerie thought it was due to unstable voltage, so she lit the candlestick, but she noticed her daughter nervously glancing back. The daughter pointed back, saying someone was there. But when Valerie turned to look, she saw nothing. The lights flickered again. A shadow appeared behind her. Her daughter let out a piercing scream. Valerie brushed it off. After getting the flashlight from the kitchen, she prepared to check if the generator still worked. Her scared daughter insisted on joining her, but she wanted her daughter to stay behind. After her daughter's persistent pleas, she had no choice but to take her daughter to the outhouse. Though unused for a while, the generator, it was good to find it still worked. The room was bright again, but soon the generator broke down. The two had to spend the night in darkness. Before bed, her daughter got a book for a story. Valerie asked where she found the book. Her daughter said it was found in the closet. Valerie seemed to recall something. The next day she played hide and seek with her daughter. While her daughter counted, she hid under the bed in the upstairs room. Her daughter went upstairs to search, but after a long wait, no sign of her daughter. So she went to the hallway to check. She saw her daughter wearing a mask. Then she quickly ran into another room. Passing through the door, she saw her daughter painting. In a flash, her daughter was by her side. The girl who was painting had disappeared. Valerie thought she must have imagined it. This room used to be her grandmother's studio. Now it's a storage room. Then the daughter found a photo in the box. She told her daughter, "This is your grandma." But grandma passed away before you were born. There were also some paper dolls in the box. Those were Valerie's toys when she was a child. The daughter suddenly took an interest. She wanted to play games with her mom. Soon night fell again. Outside, there was still lightning and thunder. The daughter woke up suddenly. She said she saw someone by the window. She called her, saying it was just a bad dream. The next morning, she woke up. She once again saw the masked girl. The girl raised her hand, pointing forward. Valerie stood and noticed her daughter at the window. After stopping her daughter, she turned back but the girl was gone. To ease her worries, she took her daughter to play by the sea. During this, she caught her uncle to ask. She asked if there were others living nearby. Her uncle said he was the only one close by. He hadn't seen any 5-year-old girls either. Also, it was surrounded by rubber fields. Generally, no one would be around there. Just then, she suddenly realized her daughter was missing. As she was searching, her daughter appeared on a rock behind her. She scolded her daughter. After getting home, her daughter went to her room without a word. She entered the room and saw her daughter tearing something. She told her daughter not to destroy things, but her daughter said she didn't break anything. Yet she clearly saw her daughter doing so. Her daughter cried that she didn't want to stay here. She hadn't yet comforted her daughter. Suddenly, a figure passed by the door. She quickly went outside to check. She saw a masked girl at the end of the hallway. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Then her daughter ran out of the room. When she looked back at the masked girl's spot, the girl had disappeared. She followed her daughter outside, but found her daughter staring intensely at a tree. This time, she still said she saw someone. Valerie realized something was off. She told her daughter that if she saw that person again, she must not talk to them, and warned her not to go near there again. Then Valerie went to the storage to search, but found the mask worn by the girl. Just then, the lights flickered again. Her daughter appeared at the door. She asked her mom if there'd be a blackout. It was still pouring rain tonight. Valerie asked for her daughter's opinion. She wanted to settle down here. Next term, she'll transfer her daughter here. My daughter said she doesn't like this house, but for Valerie, this is the only place they can stay. While talking, the lights flickered again. Daughter saw a scary figure behind her again, and it happened more than once. It looked just like one of the paper dolls. It often appeared at the stair window. After finally lulling my daughter to sleep, she grabbed the window. She recalled her miserable marriage. Tears flowed uncontrollably. But in her daze, she saw the little girl again. She thought it was her daughter still awake, but as she walked over, the clock chimed. The time was exactly 2:14 a.m. Her daughter's voice came from upstairs. She hurried up to the second floor. Her daughter's bed was floating in the air. Then the door slammed shut. She banged on the door outside, but her daughter didn't care to open it, because the monster crept closer. She opened the closet and hid inside. Valerie finally opened the door, but her daughter was already gone. She searched the whole house, but no sign of her daughter.